All right.
Do you want me to do that?
Huh?
Do you want me to do that?
Sure. No.
All right, it's 7 p.m. We have a public hearing. I'll ask for a motion to open the public hearing on the special district assessment rolls benefit formulas for the year 2023.
I'll make that motion.
And
Second, thank you. Sorry, I'm checking the camera.
okay, public is here. Is there anyone that would like to speak on the assessment rolls? Anyone? Yes, sir.
I'm not sure this is the appropriate time. I'm Greg Madigan, Firefighters Drive in Fort Montgomery. I have a question about the water bills. Can I ask that
Sure.
question later on in the meeting?
No, you can ask now.
Oh, okay, I see it. It's number 8, water and sewer bills. I live on Firefighters Drive in Fort Montgomery. I'm in the water district. I received the September 28th letter.
So maybe just, it's not related to
It's
the
not
public
related.
hearing,
Okay, all right.
right? It's
So,
on
yeah.
number 8, your question about
Number
bills.
8, yeah, about the water bills.
I mean, if you want his comment
Can I?
after the public hearing, it might be appropriate, but I don't want to confuse the record for the public hearing.
I'm just wondering if there is a
Good connection.
on the
Okay.
assessment. No, no, no.
We can wait, we can hear it and make that
Yeah, let's
determination.
hear your
Oh,
question.
okay, very good. I received the town letter on the September 28th notice of water rate increase. Okay?
No,
I live on Firefighters Drive in Fort Montgomery. I'm not connected to the water system and have never been. I may in the future. There are other towns that, so the town is not providing any water service to my property. I know some towns charge for water if you are connected and receiving a benefit of the water. So I'm requesting consideration, since I'm not connected to the water system, of an exemption from the water service bill because I'm not connected to the water system. So that's basically, I know some towns don't charge if you're not connected, and they begin charging when you're connected and using the service.
Okay, in this town, we charge you if you are in the water district, of course, exception for usage. But you being in the water district have to help pay for the expenses of the water district itself. Theoretically, your house is worth more money being in the water district. That's my theory. And that's the reason for everyone in the sewer district has to pay for it.
Right, now I know, well, this is just the water service. I know the
Well,
sewer,
sorry, I
yeah.
said sewer.
I know the sewer district, I'm also in the sewer district. I only pay the debt service for the bond in the sewer district.
Yeah.
And I noticed the water bill is structured similarly, where there's a part of the bill that's debt service and a part of the bill that's a payment for actually receiving if you're connected to the
Yes.
sewer, you pay debt service, which is on the bond that the town incurs. Everyone in the district pays that charge, I understand that. But if you're not connected to the sewer district, you don't pay the service charge portion of the bill because you're not receiving the benefit. And as a minimum, I think there should be an adjustment to take into account the debt service versus if you're connected and receiving water, that should be a consideration also, in my opinion.
I understand what you're saying, but
Well,
Joe.
how I'd clarify is, there is consideration,
It's not working.
right?
No,
If you're
wants
not
to.
connected to the system,
What did
you
you?
should have a different point structure. I don't know how many points you've been assigned, right? But in the benefit districts, as the supervisor was saying, everyone who has property within the benefit district has to pay into the system. That's state law, that's not local law. They then make a determination of what benefit is being received and assign you a level of points in the system. I don't know what your signed,
Yeah.
we could figure that out tomorrow or the next day, or if you give us a little more information. But you do, as an owner of property within the district, need to pay something to the system.
Sure, and I do pay the debt service, and that's what I'm requesting consideration. If you're not connected to the water system, like not being connected to the sewer system, everyone pays debt service on the bonds.
Right, but I don't think you're paying for water usage, sir. I don't, so this letter, this correspondence, I don't know if it was from the supervisor or the controller, but the correspondence was notifying everyone within the district that rates were going up. Again, rates were going up, that's a function really of the village government charging more. So it gets passed through to the town users, but when you get your water bill, right, you should only see certain charges which wouldn't include usage, right? Normally, we're charging X amount for the first 5,000 gallons and then an additional charge. You're not, I suspect you're not being charged for any of that. You're just being charged for,
Debt service.
right, just well, a little more than debt service. It can also be the maintenance of the system, right? There are certain charges that, right, if we have to do work, the town has to do work on the system. There are certain things that all of the people within the benefit district are required by law to pay, and you have a point, or 3, or 7, or 10 assigned to your use. I don't know what you have, right? And that's how we're able to sustain the benefit district for all users, and gives you the ability, as you said, at some point you may choose to have municipal water, and that could be a benefit to you, or it could be a benefit to a new owner, whatever the case may be, and that's why everyone pays something into the system.
Okay, I understand. So my next step is to just understand the bill better.
Right, if you
When-
come in
when I
tomorrow,
receive it.
come in tomorrow and we'll show you the bill, we can explain it to you.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I don't have my bill with me.
That's what I'm saying, stop into the office tomorrow, we'll explain it to you, we'll show it to you.
Okay, very good. All right, thank you.
Is anyone else? Comment on anything?
On anything?
No.
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 I'm saying, is the public comment anything?
In relation to our public hearing we're
Yes.
having right now.
Public hearing is on the assessment rolls and then this one. Being no further public comment, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
so now that that's over, the comment that I'll make is, Mr. Madigan's, I also, up until this year, I had 3 properties in the water district, 2 of which are on wells, are not tied in. I still have to pay on the bond, okay? And with the sewer, when it was done, there was money from the Reagan administration from that. It was not an option to tie in, it was required to tie in the sewer district. So, not gonna ask you publicly if you're tied in or not, you're supposed to be if you're in the sewer district. There's some areas that get lower points, like Mrs. Dyrwall's property up there, they're in the sewer district, but they're not actually tied in. But for the most part, with the sewer, because we didn't have water at that time, we went to the point system. I think the village uses 110% of their water use, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. We don't do that because we didn't have water before, so we had sewer first. So
Okay.
I too have 2 properties that I pay on that don't have any public water going to them, but they're in the district.
You like to tell me stories. I'm gonna tell a story. When I first became supervisor, going back then, I don't think there's anything wrong in mentioning a guy's name, but there was a gentleman by the name of Lafayette Wyman, who lived on Miles Lane. Well, he was all upset that he had to pay anything for the sewer, because he was in a sewer district. So he says, all right, if I have to pay, I want it. Well, we can't get it to you. But I won. If I'm paying for it, I won. So, I went to our lawyer back then, I said, we gotta do something here, this is wrong. So anyway, we ended up charging Mr. Wyman $1 point. And that satisfied him.
Yeah.
And from that point on, then we began to realize that we do have some people that we charge $1 point. But it's funny, when he says, I want through it, can't give it to you. Okay, I have the minutes of the previous meeting, which was October the 10th. Motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to accept them all.
I'll second that.
Thank you. I have some communications. One is just a nice payment remittance advice from the county that our share of the sales tax money this quarter was $301,550, which is a nice amount of money and more than we've been getting.
Correct.
Yeah, I have a letter from a gentleman. Did I bring this up the last time? I don't think so. A gentleman lives on Mine Road. We put some, a few more streetlights out there. And apparently, I looked at it today, but apparently where he lives is above the streetlight. So which, the streetlight being over here, my other side of the road is up here. Streetlight is actually shining into his house quite a bit. So I'm gonna get a hold of Orange and Rockland and see if we can't get that squared away. I have a letter from a resident that would like to buy our animal control vehicle, 1999 GMC Safari. Justin, what's your recommendation on how we do this rather than go to auction?
Well, sure, it's just the board's fiduciary obligation to ensure that they're getting good value for the property they're selling. There's no strict rules, you don't have to go to auction, you could advertise it, you can engage in a private sale, as this would be. You just want to make sure that you're getting fair and good value for the surplus.
Okay, so then I'll square away with the highway superintendent and see what he thinks it's worth, which I think is in the neighborhood of $500.
99, I would imagine it's in that vicinity.
Okay, I'll get a hold of Gary on that. Okay, I transferred $91,978 from the consolidated account to the accounts payable to cover this week's check run. The larger items in the check run are Beacon Recycling, $3,754. Royal Carting Service for hauling, $3,550. O&R Utilities, the general bill, $11,566. Rockland County Solid Waste, $13,119. TC and Son for asphalt at the power plant, $7,617. The state controllers received $8,991 for fees collected by the court. And this new scanner that we have downstairs in the building inspector's room cost $8,833. Any questions on the expenses?
No, sounds good.
Board liaison reports, Richie.
I'm up. I'm well prepared, so everybody gets a break from listening to me talk a lot tonight. The planning board met last Thursday. At that meeting, 341 Main Street, the church to restaurant project, which is changes in the parking, had a resolution. That project was approved as per the resolution. It doesn't mean it don't stop some things to do, but it was approved. The board at that meeting discussed the cell tower possibly going up at the town highway garage, and the issue of which agency of government was going to declare lead agency. And I'll leave that at that. They had a pretty lengthy discussion on that, and I had to leave before the meeting was over with. The ZBA did not have to meet. If they do have to meet in November, I will let everybody know at the next meeting. The sewer plant, I wanna thank Olga for this. This Saturday at 12:30, there will be what we call an open house, a tour of the sewer plant. The dial-a-bus, I think, is gonna be able to pick people up at the center, next to Bob's Restaurant. I think at noon time they'll be available for pickup at the center, is that correct? Okay, so I'm gonna have to put a suit and tie on and go down there and talk a little bit about sewer and make everybody really like it. Looking forward to it. That's all I have to say on sewer. I gave the flow report at the last meeting. In the building department, touch upon a couple things. Up at the north end of the village, there is an old marina, which appears to have some RV stations that are being looked at by the building department. There is a possible sewer effluent leak in an area in the village of Highland Falls that's being looked at. And in the building department, they just mentioned $8,000 for the new scanner. So people might be saying, what is Sully doing with their taxpayer money? So our consultant line was not used heavily this year. He's there if we need him. And there's been a reduction every year since I've been on this board in the building department budget, even though we're doing more work. So I'm gonna give an example. You're not gonna be able to see it on TV here. So sometimes we're starving for data. There was a call for a markout near Hillcrest Avenue behind the Holiday Inn. Nobody knew where everything was at. So I had Gabby scan the plans from 43468. Justin's very familiar with them. And I was able to send it out. And so that they could do that, we have a lot of plans in the highway department and whatnot. As Gabby has spare time, they're gonna become digitized. They're gonna become cataloged. And people are gonna know where to look for stuff. I'm not quite sure how we're gonna structure that software-wise, but as she gets time, she'll be scanning that stuff. It's well worth it, and I'm glad it's down there. We're not using it so much for printing, more for scanning and to get these documents digital where we're able to be in the 21st century. So looking forward to her working on that project. I'm gonna report on all the things I couldn't do because I had COVID, and I've been safe for over a week and a half, everybody. But the history had an open house at the Ronnie Coffee over at the historian's office. I could not make it. It was on Sunday of a week or two ago from 1 to 4. I could not make it. I want to thank her for doing that. I understand it was well attended. The sit and chat. Dearest Dolly Vanzetta had a sit and chat last Wednesday. I chose not to go to that either. Michael Graber approached me about doing a sit and chat in early November. Like, I guess I gotta come up with something to talk about, but I am gonna do it. I'm sure it'll involve my drone pictures and stuff like that. And the battle site also had a meeting that I could not attend. I joined recently, it was very well attended. The historian department and the battle site are always looking for members, so anybody interested can contact Ronnie Coffey or Stella Bailey. I want to thank Joey for reading off my liaison report at the last meeting. And he told everybody, sit back, it's long, because I'm going to talk just like Richie does. And thank him for that. And that's my report, that's it.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you, Mrs. Blazer. I'm gonna channel you tonight now, I'm gonna talk even more. Oh, I'm kidding. I mentioned the Dolly Vanzetta thing. The video that we shot of her is posted on Facebook, and she was fascinating, and the woman should have had her own TV show. It was a really good historical thing, and I was honored to be able to attend it and tape it. But if you get a chance to go on Facebook, it should be publicly displayed. You found it. I'm a bit of a Facebook idiot, but I think I got it out there. I think I got it out there 4 times actually, but that's another here or there. There's nothing right now. There's a lot of talks going on. I mean, things at the highway department are nice and running smoothly. Talking to West Point about a few things. Hopefully down the road I'll have something to report on. They're just trying to, again, West Point and the new current administration and people are really trying to reach out to our community and work with us and co-work with us on numerous things. And you've heard me mention in the past, or us mention the Connect program that the AOG is doing with the school district right now. And the more I hear about it, the more I'm hearing great feedback about how many kids are involved and all the different activities. I want to give a shout to Ann Hess, who gave me a call today and said, I got a list of things for you to tell people about. So there's a lot of things going on at the senior center, the Highlanders. They're going to be planning a grand reopening of the senior center on November 15th. Come on out. That's they're going to be discussing people to join, board members, building things, election of new people on their chair. But again, they had grant money, and I guess it was grant money, right? And they reinvested a lot of upgrades to the senior center. So they're going to be, again, happy to open that up on November 15th. Come on out. The meeting's at 1 o'clock, and it's open to any seniors to attend. On October 20th, which is a Thursday, at the American Legion Hall, they're hosting an adult bingo night. Doors open at 5:45.
Did you mean November?
No, she told me October 20th.
Today's the 24th.
Oh my God. All right, I can't blame Ann for a senior moment because this is me. I know I went through this list with her 3 times. I will double check. It probably is November 20th. MJ, you have any clue? No?
It got canceled last week, I know.
Okay.
I've not heard a new date.
I am so sorry about that. Thank you. You're right. Today is the 24th. I do know on November 16th, the Grace Baptist Church is offering a free turkey dinner for seniors, and that starts at noon. And the seniors are doing a road trip to Villa Roma to see the show Motown. And that's a $60 trip. It includes transportation, the show, meal, which she was told me is a choice of lamb turkey or shrimp scampi. That's on November 30th, and you could reach out to Denise Krupp for ticket information, or go to the senior center. There'll be more things posted on, I'm sure there'll be an announcement in the paper, and we'll have something on Channel 23. But again, a road trip to see Motown at Villa Roma. I know things have gone there in the past, and everybody said it's a lot of fun. That's good value for the dollar. That's it. Sorry about the bingo information, but that's everything. So come support the new Highlanders, getting their things back open. Thank you.
Chief, do you have anything?
Other than the PBA participated with the fire department in the Halloween parade over the weekend.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, sir. Justin, anything? Kelly, anything?
Just agenda.
Okay, I have a letter, an email from Maximilian Limon. This one's from July the 8th. I've got a couple of them here. Hope all is well. We've gone through the utility process with Orange and Rockland, and will now start engineering plans, which should be done in a couple of weeks. We have stations already in inventory for this job. This is for the charging station in Fort Montgomery.
Cool.
Once we have the plans, we will bid out the job, and then the chosen subcontractor will do the work and pull the permit. It was a bit longer process as expected to go through the utility approval. Now, mind you, this is July the 8th. July the 25th, we are hoping to have engineering plans this week. Everything went well with O&R, pushing to get us started. This was yesterday. We had a subcontractor on board, but we could not finalize the contract with them. We just rebid the work, and we have a new subcontractor coming on board. We are looking to start pulling permits in early November and start this project prior to the year's end. I hope everyone is doing well. And I'm not saying anything bad about Green Spot here. This is typical of things that are going on today with the construction industry, we'll say, in general. Ambulance Corps, they answered 71 calls out of 77 calls that were dispatched. That's a 92% rate of answering calls. Re-levying first on that, Dustin?
Sure, let's do water first. You have resolutions before you to re-levy in the case of water, the 21-22 water charges that have remained unpaid. There's a schedule that has been prepared. The total amount due and owing is $119,396. And that would, if you pass the resolution, be sent out to the county and they'll include it on the next tax levy and warrant.
Ask for a motion to move the resolution.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Sullivan,
Aye.
Councilmember DeWitt,
Aye.
Supervisor Lindsay, sorry.
Justin, Stewart?
Similarly, you have the same for the 2022 sewer charges in the Fort Montgomery Sewer Improvement Area. You have a schedule that to be attached, but it totals $47,082.89.
Ask for a motion to move.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor? Oh, not all in favor.
Councilmember
Roll
Sullivan,
call, please.
Aye.
Councilmember DeWitt,
Aye.
Supervisor Lindsay.
Aye. With both of these re-levies, I brought this up at a couple of meetings, a couple of times. There is a program by the state that if you fall into a certain low-income area, the state will pay your water and sewer bill. So far, we had how many people so far?
One.
One. So maybe everybody on this list is not in the lower income bracket, or maybe they haven't heard me, but I know we've had it online, I think we still have it online,
Yep, we do.
on our website. And I know on our bulletin board, we have an advertisement for it. So the state will pay them if you fall in a certain area, but you've got to do the work to get a hold of the state and do what they want you to do. We just had a problem with the one, where all of a sudden, we have to open this portal, something not we, that our controller does. And we've got it all done, we're all squared away, we're all ready to accept the check from the state and what have you. Like I said, only one person has put in for it, and the state even gave her a hard time saying that we weren't registered yet.
That's right. Oh, we
got
have one
that
other
all
one.
squared. We got that squared.
We have one other one.
One other one.
Yeah. This one we didn't get yet, but I think it's all cleared up now.
Okay, we did that now. While I got this in my hand, I'm gonna talk about the village. I got a phone call from the mayor who said we're not out of the water yet. We are in trouble with water, and I don't think he has any kind of mandatory restriction to, there's a village, they haven't done anything mandatory as far as they declared an emergency, I guess.
That's right. It's not mandatory yet.
Okay.
Correct.
At least
It
they're
is
not-
45% down,
to-
down
to-
there.
Yeah, but even with all the rain we've had, people might think, oh, I've got plenty of rain, I can start washing my car and everything.
And I interrupted, you said that we're down to 35% capacity?
45,
45.
that's this morning, correct.
That's less than half full.
That's right, yeah.
It looks worse.
So anyway, Justin, did you go through this agreement?
The
Mutual aid agreement?
Sure, and I'm sure the chief can speak to it as well. It's a very typical, standard type of mutual agreement arrangement, often used among police forces or other emergency services. I don't know, I had thought at some time ago there was a mutual aid agreement in place between the town and
There
village.
was, I have it.
Usually they just renew unless someone terminates it, but.
What year was that? One you got?
I gave you a couple of them.
I know.
It's not, my point is, normally they just renew, so I don't know if the chief has,
September
Potential
24th,
insight.
1997.
yeah.
Has anything essentially changed in the agreement, or is it?
Well, I didn't see the prior one, but this is a fairly typical one where the municipality requesting aid would be responsible for certain charges related to that aid that is provided. I mean, that's pretty typical. I don't know that in all instances, do all municipalities follow up on that if it's a, you know, if it's a atypical situation, but again, the chief might have more insight there. And I don't know what the past practice between the town and village has been.
The key word that I like here is mutual, please.
It's absolutely a
It goes
reciprocal,
both ways. Yeah.
correct.
And one question I have is on number 5 here. To the extent such a law has not been yet enacted, the party shall prepare, support, and enact a local law in the respective municipalities pursuant to section 209(m)(3) of the general municipal law, which shall delegate the power to request or grant police assistance to the chief of police.
So I did not double check the code as to whether or not you passed that law at some point. Again, I was under the impression you've had this relationship in place and not really simply with the village. It's just that they're the most logical. In a larger scale event, sometimes you would be calling in other forces as well. But, so I can double check that. It's easy enough to do if needed. But again, it's fine as written. The questions were more, why is this coming back up now? Maybe, you know, I don't have an answer to that.
Well, since the deputy mayor is in our midst, and I'll take advantage of her and ask, is there a specific reason for this?
Right. No, I understand, Justin, I had the same question. In fact, I didn't know that we had a 1997 mutual aid agreement that was already in effect. But I had come to Bob Livesey asking the same question because I had the understanding that a mutual aid agreement was in effect between municipalities to begin with, sheriff, state, village, town. So when this came across our desk, at the prodding of Trustee DeSalvo, I asked, why do we need this mutual aid agreement now? It seems like an understanding that everybody already had. It seemed very benign to me. My first question was, does it have anything to do with covering shifts? And the answer was no, right? So we're not covering your shift, you're not covering our shift. The answer that I had gotten from Trustee Aylward was that this is about insurance. You know, in case anything happens while we're trying to help you, then you guys have to pay for workers' comp or equipment that is damaged. And the same with us, with you. But if that's the understanding since 1997 and beforehand, what precipitated this, I have no idea.
Thank you. So before we take any action on this, I ask a motion to table the action on mutual aid agreement. So next meeting, we have more information.
I'll make that motion.
I'll definitely second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So carried, thank you.
Look forward to Ty being here. Look forward to more comments from the chief.
Would you have any comments?
The only, it seemed very much similar to the county mutual aid agreement, which all of the police agencies in the county, including the state police, all the fire departments, all the ambulance services, and the municipalities all got on board. So the highway department, they could call Woodbury if they need a fourth front end loader for something. The county has one of it. It's been in effect probably since the mid-90s.
And if I recall right from my time as a fire commissioner, if you have a mutual aid truck to come to your district and the truck gets injured in your district, we had to pay for it and vice versa. I think I had that right. That was pretty common.
No, we're not gonna let this die. We'll, you know, if the village feels as though they feel better having this agreement, I have really no problem with the agreement.
No, it's how you've been acting.
Yeah.
So, if
In
if
fact,
even
that-
just for an insurance company, right, to check a box that, it's been updated or a local law is passed, you know, that's fine. It is my understanding it's how the forces have been working with one another over the years.
Yeah, and I apologize. I know it sounds unfriendly, right? It seems like it's been in effect for decades, and all of a sudden you're getting it again across your table, and it sounds, I see where the skepticism would be. I was skeptical as to why it's coming across my table, right? So I understand why you would be too.
Thanks, Bill.
I have a resolution for the final adoption of the special district assessments, roles, and benefit formulas for the year 2023. That's what we just had the public hearing on. Would the board like to move this resolution? Or do you want me to read, or do you want Justin to read the whole thing?
Well, it's just
I'm
that,
looking at it
it's.
right now. Go ahead.
Sure, I mean, it is, what you just had your, public hearings on, and it would just adopt the final roles, for each of Water District number 1, Water District number 2, and the Fort Montgomery Sewer Improvement Area, as well as the rate schedule and how points are assigned. So this just memorializes that for the 2023 fiscal year.
Okay, I'll ask for a motion to move the resolution.
I'll make that motion.
I will second it.
A roll call, please.
Councilmember Sullivan,
Aye.
Councilmember DeWitt,
Aye.
Supervisor Lindsay.
Aye. You sent me an awful lot of stuff here.
Kelly asked for
Yes,
this.
it's on the roof. Roof. There's another one on the list,
What's that?
on the bottom of your agenda, for garage roof proposal.
The what?
The garage roof.
The highway garage.
Oh, I missed that. Yeah, well, you guys have had that roofing proposal. I'd love to know what you have to say about it, Rich.
Well, here on public TV, I'm gonna tell you, I only gave it a cursory read, I didn't take a real good look at it. So we need to have some discussion, because I'm not prepared to move on it yet.
And he's been, some talking to Gary the other day, says he expects that number could be probably lower than the proposals, but again, it needs to be, you know, the bids need to be had and et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. So,
I agree with Rich, I mean, we're probably not ready to.
so we'll just, set it aside until we're ready.
I think so.
Okay. I have a resolution to set a public hearing for the preliminary budget, which would be the budget, fiscal year beginning January the 1st, 2023, and, the public hearing will be
November 7th.
November 7th at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall. A copy of the budget will be available for inspection between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. It will also be on the town's website and Facebook page, right, Kelly?
Right.
So I'll ask for a motion to set the public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Second it?
Roll call, Ken, please.
Councilmember Sullivan,
Aye.
Councilmember DeWitt,
Aye.
Supervisor Lindsay.
Aye.
Kelly, correct me if I'm wrong, a little bit of an update. We started with over $800,000 to chop. We're somewhere in the $300,000 range right now, is that okay?
And
We've only had 3 fist fights and 2 chairs broken.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask for a motion to change salary schedule. Which would, the salary schedule would include a laborer for the highway sanitation department at the salary of $20 per hour. Not salary, but
Hourly rate.
hourly wage of $20 per hour. I need a motion to amend the salary schedule.
I'll make that motion.
And I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
So
Aye.
carried. Thank you. Okay, we have for that change, we have an employee that's being, Emile
Meal Blanc.
Blanc.
Mhm.
The highway superintendent would like us to hire him at the per hour schedule of $20 per hour. 1 year probation, and he would be starting, when are we gonna start him, the end of October?
That would be up to you. He's a seasonal employee right now who's approved through the county in his current position through October 31st.
Well, you know what, in fairness to him, I think we can have him start next Monday.
Next Monday.
Yes.
Okay.
Sound all right?
Yes.
Because right now,
Yeah,
he's only
100%.
getting 15 and change an hour, and in fairness to him,
Yeah, no,
okay.
yeah, 100%.
Okay.
A great addition.
All in favor?
Aye.
We didn't have a motion, did we?
Motion and second?
To
Yeah.
hire
No.
Emile
Oh.
Blanc.
Yeah, actually, I did make a motion to
Oh.
hire.
You made the motion?
Yeah.
Do we have a second?
Yeah.
Second.
Yeah, after, never mind, go ahead.
Wait, are we official? We definitely want to hire Emile.
You're good.
All right, thank you.
Can't keep up with you guys tonight.
Now, I did, on that subject, I did have a talk with Gary today, and as far as I'm concerned, we're hiring him in particular, not for the sanitation department, but for both, but to pick up the slack when someone in the sanitation department that calls in sick or doesn't come in or goes on vacation or whatever have you, then Emile would be the person to go to sanitation rather than a highway department member. So, Gary's all set with that.
Yeah, he's gonna float. He, yeah,
I
he'll go
just-
where needed.
I literally just wrote that.
What's that?
I just wrote floater.
Floater, no, he's a floater, and a hard worker and really good gentleman. Be a great addition up there.
Okay,
And much
Justin,
needed.
the CEQA from the village?
Sure. So, as you know, the, part through your request and that of Verizon, the village of Highland Falls is considering a balancing of interest inquiry on the cell tower, which would, in essence, depending on their determination, exempt it from local zoning, and the tower could be built, just similar to what they did for their own towers in their municipality. Of course, that action requires a seeker review as well. As the village board is making that primary decision, they're the logical agency to be lead agent under seeker, so they've circulated this notice to you. So long as you don't have an objection to that, you may sign and return that you're in favor of them acting as lead agent for that purpose.
In other words, line one, then, endorse the village board of trustees actors.
Yep.
And that's the only one I'll check off.
That's it, right.
I ask for a motion to allow the supervisor to sign the establishment of the lead agency.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any other thing we missed? I don't know how we could have missed anything. Anything? No?
I have nothing. I think we're back to budgets.
Yeah. Oh, general public comment. Anybody have anything? Anybody? No? Anything? Almost missed that. And I'll ask for a motion for us to go into budget session with the camera turned off.
Motion?
Second. the very bottom button, it says the modulator all the way down. Just hit-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the little red power button. Hey, thank you for doing that.
On your body,
And B, thank you for answering our questions.
I learned
Now,
something.
how much fun
Nothing like putting it to work, right, Melanie? That's what I call mutual aid agreement. Are we going back to our?
to do with that, the map that shows where the city was. Yeah, they're not doing it. Sorry that it keeps over to you, but I haven't been here during the day much, so.
That's fine.
You know where to find me, don't worry about that.
Yes, there is, yes.
Oh, okay, that's the part. A little bit of this. and a little bit of this.
Well done, sir. That was a lot to run through. And now you're back to work.
So I guess she and home to list of things, but she
Right,
said you
but-
were
So before it goes to the
spearheading a
paper.
hanging of the new
South,
curve.
yes.
She told me to reach out to you.
I was, and then eventually, but at first you were like, and then you were like, yeah. But I just wanted to make sure.
They would like them up before the grid. You're still working over that week, right? Good night, Justin.
Can I go?
Let me know when you're, what days are good for you. Oh, you are?
They listed right on the,
head,
on
head down.
whatever it is.
So not until
It
after.
should have been, and the last one was our salary.
I wanna I wanna make sure,
I'll follow.
not only is it
I'll follow
construction,
you, just tell me and we'll go
but
and
it's
assess.
gotta get cleaned up.
Maybe it's
You
just
know,
left
they created an enormous amount of dust on it.
Yeah, I mean,
I want, no, and I want, like, I even want them to, clean the sofas, you know? They didn't cover the sofas. They're full of
salaries for
You know, that's gonna need volunteers, go down to Grand Union, rent, or my town, rent the cleaner or
Well,
something.
the village owns that building, I'm sorry, the village has that
That's true.
responsibility. You know, so I'll have to work on that part of it. I'm gonna check out the building and see what a mess it is.
Oh, shit.
Okay.